Bláithín here from A Style of Living. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that's really improved my working day. For those of you who don't know, I'm a wedding planner, and so by nature a very organised person. But that doesn't mean that I don't sometimes struggle with workload or sort of get distracted by time zappers that exist on and offline. Over the past year, as my business and my life have gotten incredibly busy, I've been increasingly overwhelmed and I felt like I've had time for absolutely nothing. Some days I was at breaking point and there just didn't seem to be time to do anything, either personally or professionally. And I really felt like I was like a headless chicken running around, getting nothing done, and I kind of really sort of knew that something was going to have to give or to change. Couple that with the fact that I really wasn't happy. I also knew that a lot of things during my working day were zapping my time, and in a way I was kind of allowing them to do so. So I really wanted to make some really big changes to how I worked and the type of way that I managed my time. And so I was doing a lot of research, and a friend of mine suggested that I might like to try out block scheduling, that it might work for me. So I did a bit of investigation and I really liked the sound of it. And for those of you who aren't familiar with a block schedule, it's setting aside or creating a schedule with specific blocks of time throughout either the day or the week or the month. It's used a lot in sort of educational systems, and generally each block of time is focused on a particular task or category or genre or goal. And for me, this really sounded like it was the best way forward. It appealed to me because it allowed me to create like clear, concise blocks of time for me to focus on and achieve what I wanted to do, either goal or work-wise. While I also work really well under pressure and to deadline, without those factors or without that sort of structure in place, I find that sometimes I can like dawdle and tasks that should be completed quickly take me much longer than they should. And for me, the block schedule works best when I'm in the office, which is not always the case, but I adapt that if my working week is mostly outside of the office. And that's one of the things that really appealed to me about block scheduling, is how adaptable it was, or at least how adaptable I made my block schedule. During some days of the week that I might be out of the office, certain blocks of tasks or that sort of category that might happen might not actually get done or completed, and they're generally sort of the non-critical ones that I just kind of swap out and get to when I can. And when that happens, what really takes precedence in my working day is my actual to-do schedule or task list, which I work in conjunction with the block scheduling. And I'll explain that, and I'm going to show you my working block schedule as well, so you get a better sense of how I use it and how I created it, and also how it works in conjunction with a task list or a to-do list. For me, creating and maintaining a block schedule is simple and easy, as I believe any sort of planning or organizational sort of aspect or task or thing or software should be, because if you overcomplicate things, chances are you're never going to use it. I didn't sort of use any like fancy programs or software or books or anything like that. I don't even know if they exist. I simply just took a paper, pen, and an Excel sheet, and that's all I used. So they're kind of things pretty much absolutely everybody probably has to hand, or some form of them. So really easy, really simple. And for me, when I was creating the block schedule, I focused mostly on my professional side of things. It's the area that I really wanted help with and to work with. And my office week runs Monday through Friday from about 9 to 5 or 6 p.m. Or at least that's when I hope it runs. Like most people who are in self-employed, often you can be working all hours of the day, which is kind of part of the reason that I wanted to have the block schedule as well, so that I could have more free time and more personal time. I started out by breaking the day down into hourly increments. I felt for me that that would work best, but you might like to do yours in longer increments or shorter increments. Then I went through my normal working day and I sort of wrote down what I did and what I didn't like doing in the day, and also the things that I really wanted to do in the day but never ever seemed to get to. For me, one of the important things in creating the block schedule was to really identify all of the different things that I do in a day and the things that I actually want to do in the day. For example, I'm self-employed, as I mentioned, and I work from home, which has its pros and cons. But over the years, I'd sort of gotten into this kind of nasty habit of, as soon as I would get up, before I'd do anything like even brush my teeth or have breakfast, I would go into my office and sit down at my laptop just to see kind of like what emails came in overnight and had I actually written my to-do list the night before. And what would happen is that 2 or 3 hours would pass and I'd never like even gotten up. I was still in my pajamas, still like, bird's nest in my head and all the rest of it. And I hated that, and it's something that I really wanted to change. And some days I get an insane amount of emails overnight. I have clients and suppliers who are based all over the world, so the correspondence and communication is pretty constant. So I could come in the morning and have like 100, 150 emails, and so that wouldn't zap my time. And some days I'd feel all I would do is answer emails and get no actual work done. Of course, in answering the emails, it is work, but I feel like I'd get no further in any other project or task or achievement because all I'd do was answer emails. So I wanted to sort of reprioritize their importance in my day. Obviously, they're very important, but I wondered if it was something that I had to do immediately. So what I did was go through my entire sort of general day, that would be an office day, and sort of to really think about the things that I did and the things I needed to do and the things where I spent most of my time, but it wasn't actually really beneficial. I wrote all of these down and I sort of grouped a couple of things that fell loosely under similar headings together, just to make the sort of the block part of my scheduling a little bit easier. And after doing so, I ended up with a block schedule that looks a little something like this. So as you can see here, the block schedule is focused mostly on my working day. It runs Monday through Friday for the working week and through the hours from 8 to sort of 6 p.m., which is really when my core working hours are, or when I hope to have my core working hours. You can see the first thing on my schedule is to get up, and I'm trying really hard to break that nasty habit of sitting down at my emails before I even start anything. It is difficult, but I am getting there. You can also see that I've sort of swapped the whole emails, which I've renamed as sort of correspondence, because that also takes into account phone calls and maybe letter writing or notes and things that I need to send out to people. I've moved that down the line so that I'm focused really on wedding planning and tasks. So DDS, for those who might be interested, that is a wedding planning software that I use called Dream Day Software. And it sort of takes a record of all the tasks I have for my various weddings and so on and so forth. So it's like my wedding planning to-do list. So as a wedding planner, I felt like I should really be prioritizing planning weddings in my working day. Hence why on each day it is the first thing that I get down to. Then of course I move into correspondence. So as I mentioned, my emails, telephone calls, and I'm trying to condense that down into a sort of shorter space of time, allowing 2 hours a day for it. Some days I do run over, and some days I actually get it done much, much quicker. Then you'll see on each given day, there is a sort of a different sort of project or task or whatnot that I'm working on at different times. These would be different sort of projects that I like to sort of do or would like to do more of. You'll also see that I have a space set aside for lunch each day. I like to give myself up to an hour if I can. It just means I can get any sort of like quick errands done. and have a nice lunch as well. I am trying to be better at doing videos for my YouTube channel, so you will see a number of slots throughout the week for prep and recording and editing and so on. And then you'll also see, really important, that I'm trying to do at the end of each day for the following day is to prepare my to-do list and write my goals for the following day. I just feel like when this is done before I've even finished the current working day, I start the following day with a sort of a sense of motivation. I know exactly what I need to get done, and I've sort of revisited things that need to get done as well. And you'll also see, crucially, on a Friday, I also have a large section of an hour to plan for the coming week as well. I just find it gives me a sense of, do I have meetings? Do I perhaps need to move the block schedule around a little bit? And you can see, rather optimistically, on a Friday, I do try and finish a little bit early, just to give myself a little bit more personal time and to free up some time for me to do kind of like personal projects and those other things that I identified when I was doing or sort of preparing for my block schedule, that I wanted to do more personally. So that's when I generally kind of fit those things in there just before my husband comes home from for the weekend. So you can see mine is quite simple, very easy to follow, and as I mentioned, I use it in conjunction with my to-do list. So this was never supposed to be a master to-do list. This is just supposed to be to show me at any given time what I should be focusing on during those hours or hour. And alongside that, I have my to-do lists that if sort of this goes out the window because I'm out of the office a lot and obviously can't be at my desk at say 12 noon to write a blog post or to schedule social media, that I'm more focused on that particular day on the important goals and to-dos I have to do than necessarily the block schedule. So you can see how flexible it is and easy for you to work it in to your own family life or professional life, whichever you feel it works best for you. I actually have plans to create a personal block schedule for my life as well. Now that I'm moving from summer into autumn, I don't have as many weddings, so I have a little bit more, I don't want to say free time, but sort of more kind of like controlled time. I'm not away as much, and so I have a little bit of extra time in the evenings and at weekends and so on. So I just want to make sure that I get sort of all those kind of projects and goals and things that I have in mind done, because I kind of feel I'm one of these people who wakes up on a Saturday morning and unless I have something to do in my head, I sort of waste the day. So I really find that the block schedules have worked really, really well for me. I have been using it for about 3 or 4 months now, and I've just swapped over to an autumn schedule. My summer schedule looked a little bit different than this. So I can honestly say it's made an improvement in my working day, and I feel like I'm getting more done. It's still not 100% because, hey, I'm human and I'm sort of trying to break some bad habits as well, but definitely something to improve your day. If you want to know what my 9 top tips for creating your own block schedule are, you can head on over to my blog, styleofliving.com. You will find a link to the blog post below, and there I share my 9 top tips for creating your own blog schedule. So they'd be really useful if it's something that you want to do. If you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you use a sort of an organizing or a scheduling system or format or way or book or whatever that you feel is excellent, please do share it with me in the comments below. I'm always on the lookout for new and interesting ideas. If you haven't already done so and would like to, please do subscribe. I'm trying to get much better at sharing videos weekly. I promise. I have a full autumn schedule that I'm really excited about, with some really cool videos coming up, particularly around organizing and entertaining, and of course with Christmas not too far away on Christmas too. So please do subscribe if you're interested in those things. Recently I've become a little bit addicted to Snapchat, so if you're on Snapchat and would like to check out what I get up to in my day-to-day life, please do check me out. I am What Blah Did Next. Looking forward to speaking to you guys soon. Thanks a million for watching. Bye!